is to it's not a tax increase, it's to deal with this double dipping that's been uncovered, and I think the other local sales tax you're talking about is a fairly narrow area in terms of joint powers taxing districts, and I have to say I'm not that familiar with that particular area. But again, I don't know that I would. I guess going back to your original question, I'd have to hear a more specific example.
Lady from Hennepin, Representative Lincheski.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, members. And I know members are interested in the omnibus education bill and don't want to talk about taxes, but so I'll try to wrap it up here. But there are tax increases in this bill, and you know, I do know a lot about those provisions. It's not that narrow. It's not as broad as every city, but most of you have these joint powers agreements in your district. So if you if particularly in Greater Minnesota, if you have a group of law enforcement who provides police services for multiple cities, you know, so those people now, with this tax increase in the K-12 bill, will have to pay taxes on their purchases that they didn't have to before, so their citizens will have a tax increase. But, you know, I think the argument that, you know, because we don't have a tax bill, we have to stick tax increases in other bills, if that's the case, if we're short, you know, some of us over here think there's not enough money in the K-12 bill. I mean, then, so we could just raise taxes then right now, I guess, to fill that in. I think it would be a better strategy to take the money on the bottom line. And as we go through all these omnibus bills, members, I think we now know it's okay if we disagree about if there's not enough spending. We should have just had tax increases in them all to pay for provisions. But I thought tax increases were off the table this year, and I will tell you, I'm willing to be corrected by any member of the tax committee, but I do not believe Chair Davids had one nickel of tax increases in his omnibus tax bill. And if Chair Knobloch is saying that in fact he did raise taxes in the omnibus tax bill, I don't recall ever seeing any of them. And I think all proposals that had a tax increase were rejected, yet here they are. We literally are going to adjourn in less than a day, and now we're finally going to vote on tax increases this year. And, you know, I guess that's the choice people will get to make, and they're in a K-12 bill, and nobody knows why, and nobody knows what they were for, and I can't ask the leadership because they're not here. But there has not been an attempt by Chair Loon to say this isn't a tax increase. There are tax increases, and members, I think this is not the process we should be following. I didn't think the majority was going to raise taxes this year, but they are. This isn't amendable. It's going to, you know, well, I mean, I guess some of us have hope that the governor will dispatch with this, but, you know, thank you for your indulgence.